Shlema of my grandmother Esther Bat Perla. Okay, so the shiur will be for the Shlema of Esther Bat Perla among all the Holim of Am Yisrael and protection of all the soldiers, Be'ezrat Hashem. So, there is a very interesting idea that I saw. We learned about the fight that was in between Yaakov and Sara shel Esav and the angel of Esav. And as we understand, whenever you read the psukim, that we're not talking about a physical fight. We're not talking about they actually fight body to body, but it was more a spiritual fight. And the Torah says, "Vayar ki lo yachol lo." The Sara shel Esav saw that he's not capable to defeat Yaakov, and then he hit him bekaf yerech Yaakov. He hit him on his heel. Oh, kaf yerech. Okay. Yerech is a hip. Okay, so he hit him there, and the Torah says that at the end of the story, Yaakov was solea. Yaakov was walking, limping. Yeah, limping. Now the question is, what is this fight representing, and why Sara shel Esav decides whenever he doesn't have anything else how to defeat Yaakov, right? To touch and to hurt Yaakov in that area. To understand this, I'll give you a very quick story that happened years back during the Holocaust in one of the concentration camps. A bunch of Jews, they were in the camp, and there was with them one of the Admorim, one of the Hasidic rabbis back then in Europe. And they decided, a bunch of guys, this year to light Hanukkah candles. Now, lighting Hanukkah candles, first of all, it's the Rabbanan. It's not from the Torah. Second of all, there was the danger of life. If the Nazis will catch you, bar minan, it's a penalty of death in the camp. But how are they going to get even candles? So one of the guys, his job was to clean up the shoes of the Nazis. So they needed wax to clean it. So he decided to steal a little bit of the wax and to get it inside. Another guy took from his pajamas that he got, okay, a little bit of the garment itself, and he made it within a week. And then, thank you. From there, they were able somehow to get finally one or two candles for the night of Hanukkah. The night arrived, and the time that all the Jews are getting to the barracks, they gathered and very quietly to prepare the candles, and they gave to the rabbi the kavod to say the bracha. A lot of fear, a lot of stress. You got already one or two Jews that they were watching throughout the small window if there is any German approaching the place. And the rabbi starts. First night, all of the people that were very skinny, but with all the suffering, they were looking up to the rabbi at the moment of the candle lighting. Then the rabbi takes the candle and he says the beracha, Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, le'adlik ner Chanukah. We don't say shel Chanukah. Chanukah. For us, the Faradim, it's להדליק ner Chanukah. Shel Chanukah, it's for Ashkenaz. Okay? First ברכה. Second ברכה, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. And then was the first night. He's about to say the third ברכה, and somehow, for some reason, he couldn't say it. He couldn't say the Beracha of Shehayanu. He was getting stuck. Now every second it's important. Any second that he passed, it's more of a chance that Barminan, the Germans will come. And he's trying, and one of the guys says, Rabbi Shehayanu, and the rabbi wants to say it, but he cannot say it. Then he turns to his back and he sees all of the people looking at him with their eyes outside, looking at the rabbi. Please, Rabbi, do the mitzvah. Finish it already. And then the rabbi, when he watched and he looked at every single one of the Jews behind him, he turns back to the Chanukiah. He says the Beracha Shehayanu and he lights the candles. Now, soon, all the beautiful songs, quietly, Anirot Alalu. And then, after half an hour, they shut off the lights, the candles, and they hide it for tomorrow morning, or for tomorrow night. One of the guys that was there asks the rabbi, Rabbi, what happened over here? You stopped, you couldn't say the Shehayanu, then you turned to us, you decided to say Shehayanu. What happened in your mind? And he said, listen, when I got to the Beracha of Shehayanu, I asked myself, how can I say Shehayanu v'kiyemanu v'giyanu lezaman hazeh? Here, in the Holocaust, here, in whatever we're seeing, whatever we pass through, it's that alright to say lezaman hazeh, Shehayanu lezaman hazeh? Shehayanu v'kiyemanu, that you give us life and you give us the possibility to be here. V'kiyemanu lazman hazeh, at this exact time. At this time. So how can I say at this time? I don't want to be at this time. That was the thought that the rabbi had. So then the student said, okay, so why you choose to say it? He said, because I turned to my back and I saw a bunch of guys. I saw you guys. And in my mind I saw that all the guys over here, each one of them came from a different background. And some guys that were from guys, religious guys, other Hasidic guys, other more modern, other not religious at all type of backgrounds. But at that time, there was no differences. We were all under the same problem, and we were all looking forward at the same candles of Hanukkah as a hope that these candles might give us a final redemption. I said, this moment that all of the Jews from so many different backgrounds, they're being able to gather all together with the same goal, it's a time to say Shehayanu. And then I turned back to the Nerot Hanukkah and I gave the blessing of Shehayanu. My dear friends, we asked before why Saro Shel Esav touches the hip. The hip we say, right? The hip of Yaakov. Why the hip? The answer is, says the Midrash Rabbah, the hip represents the next generations. Yotzei Halatzav, the children. Says the Satan, the Yetzer Hara, that is the angel of Esav, I tried to defeat Yaakov himself, but I couldn't. He is too strong. I'm not capable to defeat Yaakov. I'll try to touch his kids, to try to touch the following generations. And guess what? The Yetzer Hara had the power to do something. He didn't defeat the next generations, but something he did. Now Yaakov Avinu was limping, which means now Yaakov Avinu will have descendants that they will be far away from Torah and mitzvot. But unfortunately, those Jews are not going to be connected. They're going to have all type of ideas and all type of feelings. They're not going to be like the path of Yaakov Avinu. Yes, but yet Yaakov Avinu still had the leg with him. Yet they're still being part of the body of Yaakov Avinu. Even those Jews that they look very far away, at the moment of truth, we will all gather together. We'll be unified with the same goal. It's unbelievable. What? That's why. That's why that represents something negative. It's unbelievable how today, with all what's going on in Israel, you see exactly that same message. We see how all of a sudden Jews from all type of backgrounds, they all gathered with the same goal. You started listening to people that you will never imagine. This guy will ask for tefillin. This guy will mention Shabbat, Kiddush. This guy will pray Tehillim, Sefer Torah. There was a guy right now. He's one of the in charge, top guys in charge of all the kibbutzim in Israel. Huh? So all the kibbutzim, now we all know kibbutzim, most of them, they're very far away from Judaism. And this Jew went to one of the religious channels in Israel and he was interviewed. And they asked him, how come you come representing the kibbutzim? We saw you the other day being involved in Achnasat Sefer Torah. And this Jew said, not only I was involved in the Achnasa, I was the one who made it. I was the one who promoted. I moved to bring a Sefer Torah. So they ask him, how come? And he says, because when it comes to the need of our brothers and sisters, to the need of all the hostages, to the need of all the soldiers, we don't ask questions. We just do. This is, Rabotai, the power that Am Yisrael have. And if we understand that there is such a power, we have to believe in all of these Jews, even though they're far away, even though they're very disconnected, and you may say, there is no chance. Don't ever give up. They're still being part of us. The nitzotz, the spark of their Judaism is still alive and well inside their hearts. I'm just going to finish by Yaakov Avinu. By Yosef HaTzadik. This coming up parasha, they took Yosef and they threw him to the pit. When he was in the pit, the Torah says, "Ve'abor rek en bo mayim." The pit was empty with no water. And Rashi says, why the Torah has to add me empty with no water? And Rashi answers that whenever there is no water, there is something else instead. Something worse. There is no water, there is nachashim, snakes, akravim, scorpions in that place. And the Baalei Musar, they say the same thing with us. Whenever the Jew represents a utensil, a recipient, what do you feel in these recipients? If your recipient is full of water, ven mayim el Torah, if your recipient is full of something positive, you're good. At the moment that your recipient is empty, you should know that you're not in a parv situation. Immediately you have negativity. Immediately there is something wrong. And that's why Chazal is saying that Yosef was thrown to the pit. And what happened at that moment? What happened at that moment? Imagine for a moment what was going on in the head of Yosef. What was going on in the head of Yosef? That's it. It's my last moments. It's over. I'm thrown over here. Nobody's going to come to save me. My brothers will want to kill me. Right? That's it. It's the last moment that I have. And yet, Yosef, we see in the Torah that he didn't give up. We see in the Torah that with all the suffering and all the fear that Yosef had, he never gave up. And by not giving up, what happened at that moment? All of a sudden, one of the brothers came with a brilliant idea. Let's sell him. What were you before they throw it? What were you? If you guys wanted to sell it, why did you throw it at the beginning to the pit? What happened over here? At the moment that Yosef HaTzadik didn't broke out, and he continued with Emunah, Borei Olam has no problem to switch the thoughts of people. In 1 second, Borei Olam switches the thought of one of the brothers. Let's sell him. Everybody agreed, and they took him out. Rabotai, we don't need the army to make a whole balagan to save the hostages. In 1 second, Borei Olam can do it. 1 instant. In 1 second, Borei Olam can change minds of people. So we want this. What should we do? What should we do? Is the power of emunah. Not to give up, to believe and to understand that Borei Olam is Kol Yachol. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is capable to do absolutely everything. Nothing is blocking him. And if we're going to stick to our emunah, B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to be able to see huge miracles that very, very soon all of the hostages will come back home alive and well. We'll have peace in Eretz Israel, protection and salvation to all of our soldiers, and Geula Shlema Berachamim. Amen. Ki yeh ratzon. Rabbi Yochanan ben Akashya omer, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל